Sanat Jayasuriya and Kalu Ithana.
Did you contribute much?
Sorry?
Did you contribute anything?
No, they both got out in the first over.
No, but did you contribute in the meeting?
You know me. It's hard for me to keep my mouth shut.
It's not about me knowing you. It's about you telling us what you contributed.
I don't remember because I just couldn't keep my mouth shut, right? So if there is a discussion happening, I'm sure I must have contributed. And whatever I did, I have no idea exactly. But, our whole focus was on getting these two guys out because they were in tremendous form. They were sort of pinch hitters of quality from both ends. And we didn't quite think about Guru Singha and Arvinda De Silva and Arjuna Ranatunga, Roshan Mahanama or Hashan Tilakaratne. So Kalu Vita and Sanat Jayasuriya, all the planning was done for them. And once they were gone, we were just going through the motions with the others. And Arvinda De Silva, when I look at the numbers now, he played an unbelievable innings. I'll tell you exactly, he got 66 or 47 balls in a score of 85 at the time, 14 fours. And that really just got us off the rails a bit.
In fact, if you look at it in hindsight, the kind of pitch it was, how difficult it became to bat after one wicket fell, to come at the back of 2 wickets back to back, I think both of them were held at third man, was it? Did you hold on to one of those?
Yeah, I held on to, I think, Kalu Vita and Sanat at third man. Yeah, both. I think the other one was taken by Venkatesh Prasad. So Srinath got 2 wickets in the... Yeah. So both of us got a very... Just imagine, both of us, third man, fine leg, and match starts and 2 of us in the game straight away with catches in the deep.
No, but I mean, the crowd and the way the crowd erupted after those catches were taken, and just the way Jayasuriya batted against India at the Ferozshah Kotla, and the way he was dismissed, and in walked Aravinda, and genuinely, even as a fan, we are thinking, hey, here is Aravinda, here is Arjuna Ranatunga, and here is Roshan Mahanama. Okay, Sri Lanka is getting to 220, and the way Sachin is batting, and the way, especially the way he batted at the Wankhede against Australia, the fans were thinking, yeah, this game is done. But what was it in the pitch, Sanjay? Was there anything when we bowled first as well, or did it deteriorate much in the later half?
I don't think the pitch would have changed that much, because you're talking about a day-night game. So the pitch was there, ready to turn. But look at our bowling attack, Anil Kumble and Ashish Kapoor, and nobody else really. Ashish Kapoor is sort of, more a flight kind of. Yeah. So he's not a Sanat Jayasuriya. Guys you needed for that kind of a pitch. So we didn't quite see what the pitch had as potential help for those kind of bowlers. And they had Muthaiya Muralidharan, Kumar Dharmasena. Yeah. So they had the attack. And in that bit of self-confidence, Sidhu had got out early. Azharuddin came and it wasn't a pitch to his liking. The ball wasn't coming on. They were all fired. I'll never forget a smile that Dharmasena gave when he bowled the first ball to Azhar when he came in. Sachin was out. So they were sort of, they felt half the Indian team is gone. And Azhar came and he faced one ball from Dharmasena around at everybody. And I'll never forget that all of them were like, okay, this is our game. Sachin's gone. The pitch is, just perfect for us. You guys are not going to win this one.
To keep things in perspective, Kumar still does it after he gives you out nowadays. So I'm not surprised that Kumar did it then. But I remember Azhar actually chipping one back to Kumar Dharmasena then, and it seemed like the game was done once Azhar had got out. But tell me something, Sanjay. What is... in fact, I remember after this game, I actually turned into a spinner and went around bowling around the stumps to get everybody out, around the legs. It became some sort of a fascination. We all knew Shane Warne did it for a long time. But Sanat Jayasuriya just came in, bowled over the stumps. Were there any big footmarks from where it spun? Because I know Sachin got out, run out. He probably didn't see the ball go through. And I mean, if I blame you today because you didn't call, people will accept it. But it was obviously clearly reached to the keeper. So tell me, was it?
So just imagine a sort of, at that time, a grey pitch with basically soil, loose top. So it wasn't like the rest of the pitch was very good and there were these roughs that he was exploiting. The whole pitch had become a little dry, flaky, and nothing. There was no hardness, no smoothness. The ball was going to turn. And Sana just had that, right kind of trajectory. You know how it is.
Pace.
And there was enough rough for him to exploit. And yes, something that, as I said, that team of that era didn't quite keep their senses about. There was a lot of passion, emotions coming into play. It wasn't a calm, clinical approach. Okay, Sanat is the only dangerous bowler on this kind of pitch because Murli just got 1 wicket. I think Sanat got 3. And we could have just played him out without, trying anything and then, settle the game for later. Ajay Jadeja
Would you have changed the approach if it was today?
Yeah, today, I mean, there would be a different answer for every bowler. In that time, 250, I think it was 250, right? Yeah, 250.
250, yeah.
So the approach was about, keeping wickets intact and go at 3 runs and over, 4 runs and over and try and make it up later. I don't think anyone was really geared or had this role in the first 5 or 6 to go out there and take on the bowler at the time. Didn't happen as much. Martin Crowe had that theory of bowling Deepak Patel in 92. He had some pinch hitters at the top, but that was very rarely done. So our theory
Mark Greatbatch did it, right?
Mark Greatbatch did it for him. So, some teams were doing it, but our thing was about setting the platform. Sidhu was a super player of spin. Sachin is. I played spin well. Ajay Jadeja, everybody. But once the wickets were gone, the pitch had something in it. And something about Sri Lankan, they don't get nervous or anxious that here's a chance for us to get into the finals. And they were superb. And something that I asked Mahela as well. And that's one of the reasons why their performances in ICC tournaments is so good. Because they've gone to the final stages so often. So nerves on that kind of a stage is something that never afflicts Sri Lanka. And they kept their calm, played sensibly.
And I don't know if you followed the series. I had Russell Arnold come on the show some time back. And Russell, when I was actually putting Russell on the back foot, I was telling him, hey, you know what? Sri Lanka always, you always keep backing them. But it seems like India's winding him up. And Russell said something. I mean, he obviously had to hit back. So he said, you know what? If you look at return on investment, the number of people that play cricket in Sri Lanka and the size of our country, our ROI on cricket is far greater than yours.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, oh, okay, it just hit me. That's when I realized what an iconic figure Arjuna Ranatunga must have been, right? What exactly was he like? What presence did he make to the Sri Lankan team?
He was the father figure, like a bit like Imran Khan. So he was like the boss and pretty sharp, very street smart. So when he came into bat as well, he had lost all power. It's not somebody who will spend a minute in the gym. So he was overweight. Runs would be dabs, down to
square of the wicket
here and there, and that's it. That's all he did. He didn't have the game where he would hit straight down the pitch, but he would surprise you sometimes. But he just had this calmness. And if you get a chance to speak to Arjuna, you'll see that he's a very secure, confident person. And he had early success. The team was holding him in great awe. He knew Arvinda was a match winner for him in the side. But he was just a guy who was very comfortable leading, very secure. So the team fed off him. A bit like MS, how he seems calm. On the big stage, Arjuna had the same kind of presence. So when all this was happening, Arjuna was typical with his body language around there. Wasn't the most excitable guy on the field. So had limitations in ability, but tremendous self-confidence.
Unbelievable. That's a great point that you said, because at the end of the day, doesn't matter how good a player you are. Yes, it does to be the captain of the side, but it also matters about how well you can harness the energy of the team, right? So, like you rightly said, if the team plays for a captain, and if a team just plays to its abilities, the team that plays for the captain most often than not wins, right? So
and also he just tried to fit in a small sort of hole in the team. He wasn't like somebody who wanted to bat at number 3 or be in the opening 2. He knew that he was a limited player by that. He was needed in a crisis situation like this.
Wow, that's an unbelievable insight. I didn't expect that today, but it came out as a surprise. But tell me something, Sanjay. The game was at 120 for 8. Vinod Kambli was batting. Yes, he's probably the only left-hander in the lineup then.
Yeah, who was Ajay Jadeja before me? Then there was Sidhu Tendulkar, Azharuddin, myself. Yeah.
So he was the only left-hander in the lineup. But was it much of a thing then to actually send in a left-hander when the left-arm spinner was bowling, or was it not a thing at all then?
It was a thing. I mean, if you look at even before '96, the Nehru Cup, which was late '80s, Chetan Sharma has gone in at number 3 or something for India. Has got 100 in a 50 overs match. So that has happened. But India didn't want to change things purely because things were working. And Mohammad Azharuddin, who wants to go ahead of Mohammad Azharuddin, is a great player. Because the score wasn't 310 that we thought in the mid innings that we'll have to do something special in at least 5 or 6 or 10 overs to get that little jump ahead. So we relied on being safe and going by the same approach that had got us there until then.
But what happened? How was the dressing room atmosphere when the whole crowd started? They were obviously disappointed, and that was some sort of a theme around India at that time, where people expressed their disappointment, throwing in bottles and stalling the games and all that sort of stuff. Did you feel that you were in with a chance? Because Ashish Kapoor was a decent first-class batsman. Vinod Kambli is very, very proudly known in Mumbai for how he tongs spin. So was it like, why don't you just give us an outside chance? Was there a feeling inside like that?
No. I think when we were 120 for 8, I think when the match was called off, and Vinod Kambli also at the time wasn't really in the best of form, then they were bowling superbly, Ashwin. The pitch was responding, and Arjuna being the captain he was, there was a Dharma Sena, his tail was up. There was a Muthaiya Muralidhar who bowled 10 overs, I think. So we knew we were done. When Azhar was gone, Ajay, everybody was gone. So we were done. And Vinod was just hanging in there, hoping, something would happen. And
just delaying the
Indian crowd, they're very smart. They realized that India is not going to win this match on the field. So let's try and do something about it. So they tried to take the matter in their own hands. But Clive Lloyd was much too smart for them.
No, I mean, that's settled there. But we cannot leave. I mean, we're pretty much done about covering this game. But we cannot leave this episode without talking about the Sachin Tendulkar, the batsman in this particular competition. Can we? Because he didn't have a sponsor on his bat. That's the first thing that comes to my head. And most of the other team was using a bat with a sponsor called Foursquare. If I'm not wrong, that includes you as well.
Yeah.
And he just went out there like a man on possession, right? What did you make of it? Can you compare that batting across eras and talk about how you felt about Sachin the batsman then?
See, Sachin the batsman, he made his debut in '89, and in just about a year, I think after maybe he got an 18, he was a world-class player. The age was always a factor, just 17 years old, and the way he's dominating, quality attacks. But for us in the team, there was no doubt that this guy was in a different league. And unfortunately, by '96, '97, the team was really too dependent on, Tendulkar, because he was damn consistent. And he was, I think, India's first batsman who was able to dominate and hit good balls for runs. Until then, India was about defensive batting and putting the bad balls away. Like a Sunil Gavaskar, a couple of sessions of giving respect to the bowler. And then, as they tire out, you get the loose ball, you score off it. Sachin would hit a good ball from a quality bowler on the up for 4. So there was no doubt in anyone's mind that he was in a different league. But unfortunately, the batting around him wasn't great. But in India, at least, there were a lot of other batsmen who would get runs. It was just that one evening there at Eden Gardens where, again, it was left to him. See, Sachin's greatness in that time was his failures were so rare. And right through his career, and that is, I think, a hallmark of a great batsman. Sachin getting out was a very rare thing. So you look at a scorecard in this also, here's the guy Sachin has